I'm wondering why he's adjusting the report.
He just said.
No, like,
He literally just said it would be bad if we let them say a coordinator is piloting it. The moderates would get up in arms, so we're going to say that a natural was piloting. He just said that. The whole scene.
I know. What I mean is that there's other motivation behind it, other than just the obvious reason.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we're back with episode... Wow, what episode are we on?
7.
Oh, is it 7? Okay, I thought... My head, I was going to say something above 10. I believe on the next time on, we got what? They were talking about Bloody Valentine?
Talking about Bloody Valentine, and the title of the episode was The Scar of Space.
Right.
Which I'm guessing is directly relating to Bloody Valentine.
Well, you said you liked the return to cool naming convention. It has been a while since we've watched Full Metal Alchemist, which you've loved every name of so far.
They've been hitting hard on the names for Full Metal Alchemist. Whoever was coming up with the names for those episodes deserves a raise. I don't know how much they made.
I don't know. There's a lot of episode names. I don't know if this is a trope of Full Metal Alchemist, but I know it's a trope that I've seen a lot of when I've been like posting the videos up on the Patreon and YouTube side of things, where there's a lot of the X of X, right?
Yeah.
The Road of Hope, the Scar of Space. You know, there's a lot of X of X names.
Oh, because it's a good combination.
Well, yeah. I mean, for one, it's a short naming convention, so long as the isn't long, or the of part isn't long, you know. The interconnected tubular vassals of, you know, just keep going forever.
That could still absolutely work, depending on what the interconnected tubular vassals are of.
Right. I just think it belays a certain level of creativity in formulating every name you've got.
I completely agree with that.
Although it does, I guess, make easier copy and pasting things. All I've got to do is have the same copy and paste. What are my two words again? Scar and space? Got it.
Yep.
Alright, well, what else stood out from you from the last episode?
What stood out was, one, the accurate depiction of your ship doesn't have an authorization code. We don't know what to do. We're going to hold you at gunpoint.
Well, to be fair to the guy, he said we're keeping you away from the controls of the ship, especially the fire controls, until we figure out who you are.
That's what I mean. That's why I appreciate it. That accurate depiction.
I mean, they also identified themselves as a different faction on Earth, right? The whole, with these people are from the Atlantic, or our people rather, are from the Atlantic Federation, and these people are from the Eurasian Federation? Alliance? I can't remember. I want to say Alliance, but that might be just me wanting to say a name that sounds better.
I think it was Alliance.
I think they might be Federation. I think
then
one of the scruples in my head is like Alliance sounds better, but this might just be a whole bunch of federations.
Completely. And then there was also I'm trying to think of a better way to say this.
Well, how about this real quick, Justin? You know what that would be, though? A third faction. Yeah,
I know, but that's not a mysterious one. We know about that one.
I don't know. We just met them. That's pretty mysterious.
We saw the deadly efficiency of Gundams when properly used.
One might call them destructive.
Destructive, indeed. Destructive stealth.
Oh, look, I'm sure that is a superpower. In the realm of superpowers, right? Being invisible and destructive at the same time has to be some sort of weird combo thing.
That would be terrifying. You like if you were a walking sort of like pulsing sort like this like wave that destroyed things, but only when you turned invisible.
Well, I mean, I was gonna think like I was making up somebody crazy like the invisible footballer, right? Some dude who just charges at you while invisible, but I guess the invisible woman is kind of that thing, right? She turns invisible and can create force fields. The force
But that's
fields
more.
can be pretty destructive.
Those were more protective.
No, remember she does the. I remember without stating any reference at all. Hey, you remember, right? No, I think it's literally in the first Fantastic Four, the first 2000s, I think, Fantastic Four movie, where she states, "I can create a force field inside your head and expand it," or something like that.
Oh yeah, no. There's always the mention of here's why power must be used responsibly because I could do this.
Well, I think she
But
threatens somebody with it, like very, very directly. So the
I don't
concept
think
is that she could do it.
I don't think we've ever actually seen, other than probably obscure comics, powers like that being used that way.
I don't know. I'm sure that I have, but at this point in time, I wouldn't know if I'm just like mistaking it for like that woman from The Boys who can pop heads.
Yeah.
And at which point, I don't know how she does it. Maybe she does the same thing I'm talking about with the Invisible Woman,
Let us know in the comments.
or don't, because that might be a spoiler.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know how much of The Boys you've watched. I only watched to the end of season 2.
I've watched none.
Oh, so
I
everything.
I, I barely watch anything.
Okay. That's all I do. But I don't react to non-anime stuff. I watch non-anime stuff.
Yeah.
What else? We were just covering the destructive capabilities of a stealth Gundam.
Yes, because it got in there in the moment that any sort of defensive properties or weapons of the base tried to go off. It was like, nope. Let's take those offline.
Yeah, we rather quickly covered a 120-minute countdown. Sorry, 80-minute countdown, which is an hour and
80
20
minutes.
minutes. Forgot
Yeah.
my own conversion. Well, I mean, anything else?
Uh,
Don't want to address the coordinator issue? How about our main
we
character
still
crying?
don't know. Like, again, that's PTSD. We get that.
How about the fact that Flay was the one that told everybody?
That I'm not surprised that Flay was the one that told everyone. She seems to be the one who is the most responsive and least stone-faced of the characters that we've met.
I mean, they're all kids. I don't think any of them are stone-faced.
Yeah, but she's the least, is what I'm saying.
Based on what?
Just from what I've seen and the energy I get.
Okay.
That's it.
Gut feeling. I have a
Yeah,
gut
gut
feeling
feeling.
that this girl's a problem.
All I'm saying is she seems loud and easy to get information out of. That's it.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right then. I guess with that then, we should probably just go ahead and head into the episode. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed the algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
I don't
Remember
think
that
we.
intro from episode 1?
I was gonna say we got the intro again.
Oh no. In that one, they exploded.
Hmm.
I think it was a bigger thing for Griff and I because those things also looked like the opening shit that you saw in Gundam 00's opening. So we left. We just finished Gundam 00, and then it's like we're seeing this shit again. What's this? See, orb. Still don't understand what orb really means.
Got it.
ベサリウスの修理と補給急げ
Okay. Are we going into a flashback focused episode, or
why would you say that?
This is clearly not the current events that we've been dealing with.
Why would you say that?
Because the last thing that we saw was the asteroid being exploded, and that looks nowhere near what this is.
Right. Do you not remember that was a different ship?
Fair enough.
That was the Gamma, piloted by a guy who has a beard just like yours. This guy is piloted by the, as you just saw, Addies, which is
But even
barefaced.
then, unless, because I know that they were requested to come in to speak to...
Yes, you specifically remembered. The Supreme Council?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's the Vassales, or something like that. I'm bad with names. Which is the ship Ra was on. That was Ra, as you just saw.
Yeah.
So yeah. Not a flashback, as far as I know. Also, we saw the next time on, which seemed to be filled with not flashback stuff. Although, maybe, if they're doing a Bloody Valentine flashback, which seemed like that was what the next time on might have been.
That's what the implication was that I got was. Also, kilometers.
Yeah. This is the future. They don't seem to be American. Oh, I don't know. Atlantic Federation could be.
Now they're calling her out for being a snitch.
It could be unpleasant. We'd all hate if it was unpleasant aboard this ship.
I know that we almost died in space from massive mobile suit fight, but being unpleasant, you need to handle that.
If there's one thing Flay would hate, it's for the ship situation to be unpleasant. And this is why Athrun wasn't in the battle last episode. Also, Athrun's dad is the National Security Defense Minister, or whatever the fuck they said. Sorry, that went by way too fast.
Yeah. Oh.
Can't have the moderate faction getting up in arms. That might be like a third group or some weird shit.
100%. See, we got information.
Oh, it's a shame you've already backpedaled on that whole idea.
I absolutely haven't. I'm wondering why he's adjusting the report.
He just
no,
said,
like,
he literally just said it would be bad if we let them say a coordinator is piloting it. The moderates would get up in arms, so we're going to say that a natural was piloting. He just said that. The whole scene.
I know. I know. What I mean is that there's other motivation behind it, other than just the obvious reason.
何どうしたの
だって水の使用制限だって昨日シャワー浴びられなかったんだもん。
Okay.
That's why the guy was complaining about water.
ストライクの整備完了かでもパーツ洗浄機もあまり使えないから参っちゃうよ
And also all your comments before about how much the ammunition costs.
フレイ
Yep.
キラこの間はごめんなさい。私考えなしにあんなこと言っちゃって。
あんなこと
アルテミスでキラがコーディネーターだって。
Oh, you're the son of a bitch that told them.
気にしてないから本当のことだしね
Next thing you see is the back end.
Now, technically, this is a 2000s
Cool.
anime.
これからどうするんだろう
Enough.
班長さんたち
She's gonna give him her water.
無理ですよ。あまり地球に軌道を寄せるとデブリ帯に入ってしまいます。高進路を取れれば月軌道に上がるのも早いんですが。
突破は無理よね。
デブリ帯をですか？そりゃ無理ですよ。この速度を維持して突っ込んだら。
Earth has a debris belt. Understood.
Part that confused me back when we were originally watching this is why didn't they just land on Earth? Their whole faction comes from Earth. They're the Atlantic Federation.
Hey, maybe from Atlantic space?
Yeah. Atlantic City, the moon. Zodiac Alliance of Freedom Treaty is a still shit name.
Yeah. They're an alliance of a single treaty.
そういえば彼女が君の婚約者だったな。ラクス城
There you go, Atherin's
Oh,
fiance.
代表も務めるそうじゃないか。素晴らしいことだな。
はい
She's one of the characters in the opening.
Technically, she's also a character in the mid-roll.
次の世代にはまたとない光に
You've seen her dancing.
True.
期待しているよ。
ありがとうございます
その時代を今我々は守らねばならん。
To protect. Okay, here we go.
ヘリオポリス崩壊についての臨時査問委員会を始める。まずはラウル・クルーゼ。君の報告から聞こう。はい。
I didn't even have time to make a joke. I was about to say, get ready for the most in-depth breakdown you've ever heard, but they already switched scenes.
Yeah. He's gonna tell us everything we need to know.
ちょっと待ってくださいよ。
To be fair, if you were gonna do a recap episode, that would have been right to do it, right? Let me tell you everything that happened. A recap.
そこには無論戦闘で破壊された戦艦などもあるわけで。
まさかそっから補給しようって仕方ないだろそうでもしなきゃこっちが
Oh.
The Earth's debris field is the result of all the battles that have happened around Earth.
Yeah.
あまり嬉しくないのは同じだ。
That being said, as risky of a
It's also grave
suggested
robbing.
mission this is,
Grave robbing.
this is grave robbing, but it's I get why they're doing it.
今私たちに必要なものを分けてもらおうというだけ。
We're only gonna kind of grave rob.
In order to live,
Yeah.
said every grave robber.
Yeah. I just need a
And
little bit of money.
Here we go. That's Atherin and her. And a bunch of things you've never heard of yet.
It's true.
我々の行動は決してヘリオポリス自体を攻撃したものではなく、あの崩壊の最大原因はむしろ地球軍にある
They just kept fucking dodging.
He wouldn't let us shoot them in the face.
に組みしていたのだ。条約を無視したのはあちらの方です。
だがアスハ代表は
We're the ones who ignored ourselves. 'Cause we're the treaty.
クルーゼ隊長、その地球軍のモビルスーツ、果たしてそこまでの犠牲を払ってでも手に入れる価値のあったものなのかね。
その驚異的な性能については実際にその一機に乗り、また取り逃がした最後の機体と交戦経験のあるアスランザラより報告させていただきたく思いますが。
アスランザラよりの報告を許可する。
You're my daughter's
Here we go.
fiance, and the guy who's standing up next to me's son. I don't think the nepotism is going to be a problem.
イージスという名称のついたこの機体ですが、
Not at all.
大きな特徴は
My
Is its
my suit
grabber
is still
claw
advanced.
capability,
I turn into a claw machine.
and I let go of things with just about as much probability.
こんなものを作り上げるとはナチュラルと思え。
でもまだ試作機段階でしょ。たった5機のモビルスーツなど脅威には。だがここまで来れば量産は目前だ。その時になって慌てればいいとでもおっしゃるか。
これははっきりとしたナチュラルどもの意志の表れですよ。
By the way, the scene also shows off a lot of nepotism that's going on.
Yes, it does.
I don't know if you would know it otherwise, but I think I had discovered it in the original watch through around here, that a number of these people in the Supreme Council are the pilots of the Gundams you've already mentioned, or the parents of the pilots of the Gundams you've already seen.
You
Like-
can see the similar.
The silver-haired lady is Yazik's mom, so it's like,
Yeah, it's connections made.
it is slightly ironic, though, that they're not like highly promoted people, though. They're just in the show.
我々コーディネーターを縛り利用し続けてきたのは。
This would be a horrible space to get into a fight.
忘れない。あの血のバレンタイン、ユニウス7の悲劇を。
Junus 7?
This is
Oh,
your
they're
flashback.
showing farmers. And Bloody Valentine happened because of some mysterious third party.
大陸こんなところにユニウス7。
24万3721名。それだけ
That's a lot of people.
失ったあの忌まわしい事件から1年。それでも我々は最低限の要求で戦争を早期に終結すべく心を砕いてきました。だがナチュラルはその努力をことごとく無にしてきたのです。
Jeez, that.
Literal grave robbing.
我々は我々
Yeah.
のために戦う。戦わねば守れないならば戦うしかないのです。
The war begins.
It's been going on for 11 months.
I know. That's why I said it.
あそこの水を本気なんですか？
We have no choice but to fight.
But yeah,
We've
no,
been
the
fighting.
concept here is that Bloody Valentine is basically what they did to Heliopolis, although they're saying what they did to Heliopolis was unintentional.
Yeah.
誰も大喜びしてるわけじゃない。水が見つかった。
And now they're going to resupply themselves
裏が大尉。
with what was the war crime that was Juna 7, the Bloody Valentine.
けどしょうがねえだろ。
Yep.
俺たちは生きてるんだ。ってことは生きなきゃなんねえってことなんだよ。
Yee, that's weird territory to go into.
I mean, it also means that you're going to be collecting all your resources from the very thing that these people are fighting you for having done.
Yep.
So it's not a great look if you get caught.
Oh.
Space Whale. The one from the
Yeah.
opening.
Are those actual wings on the space whale?
I have no fucking idea. Griffin never explained it to me either.
ラコーニとポルトの隊が私の指揮下に入る。出港は72時間後だ。はっ。失礼いたします。グライン議長閣下。
我々にはそう時間はないのだ。いたずらに戦火を拡大してどうする？
Is there something important about this space whale?
They're not talking about it, they're just staring at it, talking about other important things.
That's what I mean. With such a prominent background image. That's creepy.
What is?
The fact that people are just... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, she's like an idol.
I wasn't aware that she was an idol. I thought it was just people watching her in a field.
No. Well, I mean, technically they still are, regardless of what you think is going on. They're still watching her in a field.
But it's more like a music video. That's fine. And this is the scene with the flowers being released.
I mean, Ellie hasn't been in a lot of shots lately. She never gets any lines, but she's like always in the background with all the other civilian characters.
Yeah. At least they're paying their respects after robbing the graves.
I just think, you know, they didn't have a lot of water. Well, that's the water you're going to be drinking from now on.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Does that name
No idea.
matter?
Oh, the name? Yeah, it's his mom.
Well, I realized
I
that
thought you were saying
it's
the
got some
text
sort of
underneath
family
it.
connection.
I thought you meant the
No,
weird
no.
string of text. It was like, no, I looked that up. I could not figure that shit out either.
4時間ってとこですかね。弾薬の方はあと1往復で終了ですが。
No, that's just his mom's name. That's all.
民間船撃沈されたのかこれ。
Oh snap.
標高偵察型福座の陣なんでこんなところに
Two-seater?
アークエンジェルが見つかって応援を呼ばれたらアウトだ。
If it's a two-seater, would there be one person in charge of like flight and one in charge of weapons, or?
I don't know. Could be like a sniper team. Not really sure.
Fair enough.
行け行ってくれそのまま。よし。 バカ野郎なんで気づくんだよ。
Here it
To be
pops
fair,
off.
you'd be legitimately pissed to see somebody robbing the graveyard
Yeah.
of the most important thing in your country. Also, the fact he just killed somebody in a graveyard.
Yep. 100%. Oh yeah, no, you're... Yeah. Sleep is gonna be a rough thing for Kira. So they're low on water. Are they gonna take on another life pod?
No, they just refilled with water. You didn't see the whole chainsawing the iceberg things?
Yeah. No, so I saw that. I just didn't know that that's where it got put. Oh. Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's a bit of stuff that you've kind of overlooked.
There is.
She was supposed to be going on some, like, I think it's called a memorial cruise to pay respects to the dead.
Yes.
And I think the implication is supposed to be that's what that dead ship was. The memorial cruise, and her life pod was from that.
Got it.
Again, that's the implication is what I think you're supposed to take away from here.
I'm
not obviously not going to tell you directly, because I think the show is going to tell you directly, but also I remember having a lot of different theories about the Jinn, the ship, and her appearance here. So,
okay.
I might also have those to go over next time if I go back through the episodes and rewatch to see what my thoughts were.
Do you know who might be real angry about discovering that that his fiance is now on that ship?
Well, you would have let me guess if you didn't put his fiance, because I was going to sarcastically say her dad, the member of the Supreme Council.
Oh, the dad will also be pissed. She also seems friendly with Kira.
Yeah, that she does. But then again, who hasn't seen friendly with Kira? Everyone's Kira's friend, right?
True.
Also, they both know Athrun.
Yes.
I mean, we don't know if by the time that whatever is happening there, if they'd be like, you know Athrun? I know Athrun. You know? It'd be weird to be like, yeah, I know every coordinator. It'd be weird. But
you know what? Coordinators just all know each other. That's how it works.
I mean, there are elements of Counselor Azala. I don't know how to reference him because I can't remember his first name. Athrun's dad.
Yeah.
There's elements of his speech that only make sense to me now in hindsight that I didn't pick up the first time. That obviously I'm not going to say to you.
Of course.
Until later if I remember to do so. Because, ooh. I guess the only way to say this, I think it's alright to say this much. We're watching the high-def version of the show. Obviously, when it was released in early 2000s. It looked worse than this.
Yeah.
There is a, what do you call it, version change between this and the original, where there is an episode in the original, I think, that does not exist here, but gets replaced by a different episode in the high-def version. So in the next 10 episodes or so, say, they're going to give us a backstory episode of world building that makes his speech have more context than it would otherwise.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I'm referencing there. So, an episode that will not really affect anything that's happening in any meaningful way, but will give you more context and backstory to the world that we're in, will also give context to things like the speech that he just gave.
Got it.
And by which I'm not even referencing Janus 7 and Bloody Valentine. I'm talking about other world building. Because his speech had more to do, or expanded further along than just referencing the scene that was happening. Like, obviously the takeaway you would have would be that his speech is about Janus 7. We're seeing our main characters witness the Janus 7 firsthand. It's flashing back and forth. Well, he's talking about other elements as well that I didn't pick up the first time.
Got it. We'll see if once I get that backstory.
What else? Obviously, also, if you didn't pick up, Lacus's dad is moderate. Because he's the one questioning why we should keep fighting. And then it's Atherin's dad is the one who's giving the said speech about why they should be fighting. I don't remember Lacus's dad's title in the Supreme Council. Like, we saw that Atherin's dad is like the defense minister or something.
Yes, it was defense minister.
I don't remember if Lacus's dad is covered when they show him standing next to her when he's giving the speech somewhere in public. That's where they say that she's going on the memorial cruise. So the very same reveal that you're given that Atherin is Lacus's fiance, or she's Atherin's fiance, whatever. That's the same reveal that the speech is being given to say that my daughter is going on this cruise to memorialize the dead, the 243,000, I believe he says during his speech.
243,680 something.
See, I'm rounding. But I do remember, I just always get it mixed up if it was 243,000 or 234,000. But yeah, that's why it's so important.
I think it was 43.
That's why it's so important that he goes back and he talks to the Supreme Council about what happened at Heliopolis. That this whole war started because a colony basically got destroyed. And now you've kind of just done this thing that was so horrible that we went to war about it. And now you've done it to them.
Yep.
This is why I keep making the joke that, well, if he wouldn't stop dodging, the colony would still be here.
True.
Sorry, it's just such an important episode that I have all these thoughts still rolling out of my head about it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good because it helps organize things as well.
But what about your thoughts then?
There we go. I like the building. Yes. I like the fact that we're building up the reasons why we are where we're at, and we're seeing the cost of everything. Because it's great to see cool fights with mech suits and all. Knowing why they're happening makes them that much more important.
It's funny you say that, because the running theme amongst a number of shows that I watched with Griff, Gundam ones I mean, was that I said that I would be perfectly willing to watch a Gundam show with no Gundams in it. I think sometimes, and there's a lot of hate I'm going to get for saying it from the people who love Gundam, is that sometimes I feel like the worst part of the Gundam shows are the Gundams and the fights.
I could see it, because there is episodes that just feel like one long fight scene.
Well, they're to sell the toys. Obviously, you need toy sales to make the fun the show. And if you're not getting that, then you're not working. But at the end of the day, I was just watching a show with Raph last week that he super hated, but that his position was constantly, these are shows made for children. Obviously, they're not. Anime is made for a wide range from children to adult, but He said these are shows made for children to understand. So, and obviously they're also toy commercials at the end of the day. So, at that point, you have to think that possibly the fights are just paused as a narrative given to allow you to absorb what you've seen while stupid watching another thing. Because it depends on the era. It depends on the era of Gundam you're watching. Obviously, more modern Gundam, you can fit more narrative and substance into a fight scene. But if you're just watching a bunch of lasers fly and people dodging, then narratively, nothing's really changing. Nothing changes until the end where someone's dead, someone's run away, etc. Except for obviously the scenes where you get communications between the two and they're passing information back and forth. That's valuable.
Yeah.
That's a valuable difference. It just mud my long-standing opinion that I'm more invested in the world that Gundam takes place in, depending again on the show, obviously, but the world is more interesting than the Gundam pilots are to me, and that I would be more interested in watching a show just set in the Gundam universe that had no Gundams in it.
I see the point, and I think it's very valid.
Fortunately, I'm realizing now that when I said this before, I made certain comments that were guesses about future content that I can no longer make as I've seen that future content already. So there was a give in my statement, and that give was hope for the future. And I can't really make those statements anymore. Well, it's not that the hope is gone, it's that it would spoil you. And I don't want to spoil you for the benefit of just making a statement.
Completely. So, I enjoyed this episode. I'm forward to seeing how the conflict changes with the events of Heliopolis.
I mean, I don't know that that's the concern anymore. Obviously, it's the looming figure that stands behind us.
Yeah.
But I feel like Heliopolis was like the first drop in a bucket in the what is wrong with this world for us as an outside perspective. But from a narrative perspective, we've just been introduced to a wide spectrum of Earth has been embattled so much there is literally a debris field. Also, Janus 7 has apparently fallen into that debris field as well, but we now have factions and people at work. This isn't just some guy following us in a ship anymore. There's a whole system.
No, it's like a... Yeah.
That's why I said this is the episode where I stopped being as flippant about everything. Because it stopped being we're being chased by a guy, to these people are motivated for a reason, something really bad happened, we saw this other stuff. There's a lot more. This was the first 7 episodes were like, here's our pitch to the network about the show. I feel this is the episode, we got a budget. We got a budget and let's start making use of it.
I can see that. A lot of what I saw this episode confirmed for me the fact that we don't know who the good guy is in the events that have taken place already. We don't know what side is more just to this point.
Well, yeah, because we saw Heliopolis happen before we even knew about Janus 7, because they only mentioned Bloody Valentine to us at the beginning without explaining to us what it is.
Exactly.
So by the time that we're invested into the show, these two things have already happened. Maybe not side by side, but they've already happened, so that neither side is innocent, as it were. But I think another major theme when it comes to Gundam shows is the whole gray aspect. That nobody's clean when it comes to war.
Yeah, I think cute to keep that aspect intact for a lot of to fundamentally work for anything that deals with large-scale war.
Because we already know the Earth has been under attack for a long period of time. We don't see much going on in space. I think that was one of my original commentaries as well. Is like, if the Earth is like the Federation's whole thing, or the Alliance, not the Alliance, the Atlantic Federation, Eurasian Alliance, whatever they all are, if that's their main territory, then how come the zaft is just rushing through with all this stuff and not being stopped? And then we see the debris field, and it's like, okay, well, maybe they ran out of stuff. Episode 1 starts with a space drop.
True.
Alright, well, I think we should get to our final thoughts here. You got anything else you want to wrap up with?
Yes. Mysterious third organization, an actual serious talking point. I think I'm flipping to, I think an organization is going to form as we watch the show between the people who are currently enemies in order to try and stop the conflict instead of having it continue.
I feel like it's the only way you possibly could go, right? I mean, with your theory, not with the show. Show could go any direction.
100%.
Your mysterious third faction, we've already uncovered that this show is rife with factions. Like, there's already way more than 3.
1,000,000%. And I think bones for that forming already exist, but we're just seeing people get their resentment towards each other for it to actually happen.
Right. Well, I guess with the next time on, where you said it looks like Kira and Lacus seem to get along pretty well, maybe that's the thing, right?
That could be the...
Alright. Well, then I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We are Stone Face Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone Face Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?